When was the last time you really looked? I mean, long enough to wonder if the face staring back was still yours. In the mirror, the surface seems loyal. It gives back what it receives: angles, skin, light. And yet, beneath that thin glass, something stirs. Psychoanalyst Jacques Lacan once spoke of the mirror as the birthplace of the self, but also of its fracture. A child sees its reflection and feels whole, even as inside it is still scattered. You are no longer a child, but the mirror still whispers, you are both one and many, whole and broken, seen and hidden. Gaze long enough and the reflection flickers, an echo between now and then, between who you think you are and who quietly disagrees. The lines around your eyes, the slight sag of skin, they are not just signs of time. They are tiny inscriptions, each a record of burdens carried, dreams shelved. The mirror, once an ally in youth, becomes a trickster as the years pass. It shifts, delays, distorts, like a voice calling back from a canyon, reshaped by the distance. Lacan would say, the self you see is always a little out of reach, an ideal image you chase, but never quite touch. And isn't that true? Each morning, the face shifts, sometimes softer, sometimes harder, a flicker of hope in the eyes, a shadow of regret along the mouth. Who is this stranger? And more importantly, who is the one asking the question? This is where echoes between begins, not in certainty, but in the uneasy space between image and essence, between surface and depth. You might notice how light falls unevenly today, or how your posture leans slightly, as if bearing an invisible weight. These small signals are echoes. They call from the parts of you left unspoken, desires unnamed, fears unacknowledged. In psychoanalytic existentialism, this tension is the core wound. To be human is to live in this split, to desire, to lack, to reach for wholeness that forever escapes. The mirror does not lie, but it does not tell the full truth either. It offers the promise of unity while quietly exposing the fractures. So next time you stand there, ask yourself, am I seeing myself or just the echo of who I want to be? Notice the microsecond of disorientation, that blink when recognition wavers. That's the crack Lacan pointed to. That's where the real conversation starts. Think of ripples on water. The reflection shifts with every breath, every small move, solid yet fluid, fixed yet changing. The stranger in the mirror is not your enemy. It is your echo. It returns not to mock, but to remind. Remind you that your identity is not static, but negotiated every day, between memory and forgetting, between desire and fear. This is why reflections grow stranger as we age. The distance between the ideal and the real grows wider. The echoes take longer to return. And yet, in this strangeness lies freedom. The unease is an opening, an invitation to look beyond the surface and listen. What burdens still cling to your face? What dreams are still waiting behind your eyes? The mirror cannot answer, but your unease, that quiet discomfort, is already pointing the way. Lacan's mirror is not just glass. It's every relationship, every gaze from another that reflects you back to yourself, sometimes clear, sometimes distorted. You are made of these echoes, a self assembled from reflections, recognitions, rejections. So when the stranger looks back tomorrow, softer or harsher, greet them, not as a foe, but as a guide. The echo will shift again. It always does. And maybe, just maybe, each flicker brings you closer, not to wholeness, but to peace with the fragments. When was the last time you really looked?